Good morning and welcome to GRI Summit 2025, our 15th annual summit. A special welcome to those of you who are joining us online today. Thank you, Vanda, for getting us kicked off and making sure everybody knows how to engage throughout the day. This year's theme, Charting New Horizons, reflects our view of new opportunities, experiences, and in many ways, new realities. But with these new opportunities and realities come new challenges, new uncertainty, and of course, new risks. We've entered a period where the world we once relegated to the pages of science fiction are now made real. While numerous breakthroughs in healthcare and scientific discoveries, it is also the world science fiction warned us about, where reality blurs with fiction, where trust is fragile, and the most fundamental questions of right and wrong seem to be tested every day. We have indeed arrived at the new information age. So many of the old rules we have come to rely on no longer apply. Developments that once took months are now unfolding overnight. And the way we manage risk must continually evolve to manage this new reality. Although this new world manifests in many ways, the events that are driving the unprecedented pace of change are happening at the intersection of rapid technological innovation and a radical geopolitical shift away from a norms-based international order. Both of these forces are accelerating the erosion of trust. Economic dissatisfaction, fueled by rising inequality, has bred widespread distrust in institutions and heightened xenophobia, undermining social cohesion and eroding the idea of a shared reality. Internationally, this has translated to a weakening of multilateral norms and institutions, ushering in a new era of increasingly transactional power politics. Short-term alliances and coercive leverage have replaced norms-based cooperation. This is not just a geopolitical story, it's a technological one as well. Automated disinformation campaigns created and disseminated at lightning speed and almost at no cost by AI further erode the trust. Meanwhile, social media algorithms favoring engagement over truth, rewarding virality at the cost of accuracy, reinforce the conspiracies and the fear, and further fuel the alienation and distrust in what seemed to be so basic in the past. In this new world order, national and international institutions that the world relies on to uphold the rule of law and the very sovereignty of nations are under near constant threat. Support for evidence-based truth is at an all-time low, and the foundations of Western democracy and open markets can no longer be taken for granted. America, once thought to be, in the words of Madeleine Bright, the indispensable nation, taking on an outside role in defense of the global order, security, and justice, has taken a firmly transactional, often adversarial position in international affairs and an increasingly authoritarian stance, including towards its own institutions. This US transition and shift has emboldened authoritarian regimes around the globe. When it comes to trade, well, we all know that the US approach to tariffs on both friends and foes has eroded trust in multilateral trade regimes and amplified volatility across world markets. Here in Canada, the trade dispute with the US is obviously causing a drag on growth. The federal government has taken steps to offset the effects, and trade negotiations continue. But the full effects of tariffs have not yet been felt, and the real uncertainty remains. What comes next? Will tariffs be extended into other sectors, or will new measures disrupt other parts of our economy? Regardless of how US and other trade talks go, and how effective new investments in energy infrastructure and defense are in shielding Canada's economy, we must acknowledge that our sovereignty, our security, and our prosperity can no longer be taken for granted. The lesson for Canada and for us as business leaders is that although we cannot prevent future shocks, we can better prepare for them and build resilience. That begins with understanding and mitigating the risks that we face and capitalizing on the opportunities as they present themselves. And we cannot, most importantly, let short-term performance tempt us into complacency. Resilience demands that we look beyond quarterly results to long-term risks and opportunities. To innovate and evolve with the new realities while maintaining trust is going to be a unique challenge. That's why at GRI we've been dedicating more resources than ever into better understanding the nature and potential impact of AI, quantum computing, cryptocurrency, stablecoins, and other disruptive technologies. But our work is not in isolation. It's done in collaboration with governments, with our regulatory partners, and with many of you in this room, our industry partners. And to this end, we've embarked on a comprehensive project to explore AI threats, opportunities, and best practices, beginning with 4 streams of work: security and cybersecurity with OSFI and Finance Canada, financial crime with FinTrack, consumer protection with FCAC, and financial stability with OSFI and Finance Canada. This is really important work for all of us, and it demonstrates the uniqueness about Canada, where government, regulation, and industry can work as closely together as we do to craft the solutions for the future. I'm also pleased to announce that we will once again partner with the AI Safety Foundation to deliver the 2nd annual Hinton Lectures on AI safety that we helped to launch in 2024. Nobel laureate Geoffrey Hinton will again be an active spokesperson and leader of this work, and that will launch November 10th, 11th, and 12th of this year. With risks emerging and evolving at the speed of a click, I'm more convinced than ever that a risk management mindset needs to be embedded at every level of every organization. That's why our RiskLit online risk literacy program for non-risk professionals was created. The world is reshaping itself, whether through geopolitical realignment, technology advancement, or climate impacts. We have a responsibility as business leaders to be forward-thinking for all of our stakeholders. Some of you who have heard me speak before know how important I think a moral compass is in one's personal and professional life. Everyone's values, priorities, red lines are different, but I encourage each of you to think about your personal moral compass. I say this because without it, it's too easy to make decisions that seem easiest in the moment, but you know they don't really meet your own ethical and moral standards. I ask each of you to keep this in mind as you make decisions and take action in this very complex, interconnected, and challenging environment. Our program today is designed to help us all think about the options, the opportunities, and the risks. I hope that everyone takes something away from today that will support you in making those decisions that will impact all of our futures. I'd also like to take a moment to recognize some of the people and partners who support GRI's strengths in doing this work. I want to thank my GRI Board of Directors, many of who are here today. I appreciate all of their support, advice, and guidance. And I particularly want to acknowledge Bill Bonnell, our new board chair at the Global Risk Institute. Bill currently serves as strategic advisor to the CEO of National Bank and was the bank's chief risk officer from 2012 to 2024. So Bill's been a great supporter of GRI for many years, and I'm delighted to have him as the chair of our board. And I also want to extend my gratitude to our most recent outgoing chair, Mark Hughes, who served GRI for 9 years on the board. Thank you, Mark. So, Summit sponsors have supported us over the long term. PwC is our lead sponsor for the Summit and have been for the past 5 years. Thank you very much to PwC. EY Canada is the session sponsor for today's CRO panel, a role they've supported for the last 3 years. And the Rotman School of Management is our education sponsor, who have supported us for the past 10 years. So thank you to our friends at Rotman. Last, but certainly not least, my thanks go out to the entire GRI team who worked tirelessly behind the scenes to help the summit run smoothly. As you know, filling a room as big as this and running an online program at the same time is not an easy task. And you know, many organizations outsource this activity. We don't outsource any of it because we want to make sure our members' funding is put to good use. So the team just does double duty to pull this off. So thank you to all of the GRI team. I'm also happy to inform you that for the first time in the history of the summit, we have representatives from each one of our 52 member organizations and participating either in person or virtually. So that is a tremendous assembly of experience, talent, and expertise. I hope you will all get something new out of this session. As we all discuss and ponder and think about the new world of risk today, I want to emphasize the important role that we all can play. If you think about the influence in this room today, it is an opportunity for us to not be complacent, to not wait for things to happen, but to actively take an active role and become the architects of the future. So thank you very much for joining us today, and thank you very much for all of your support.